and welcome back to winemastery.co.uk. My name is John Lightfoot and this is...
John Murphy.
And we're here to tell you about wine, hopefully help you find the wine, if not the wines you will absolutely adore. On this occasion, we are tasting a wine that has been recommended to us by one of our viewers, Ben Allen. Thank you very much, Ben, for sending that into us, that idea into us. So we've managed to get a bottle of this. It is the Ramon Bilbao, and you'll see the bottle wandering up here and the label. It is a Tempranillo.
Tempranillo, yeah.
Tempranillo.
This is the Tempranillo. That's how you do. It's all right, John.
I don't need to make that extra effort.
No, you're fine.
Don't have to put that extra R in.
No. There's no need.
Okay, so obviously it's from Spain. It's the same sort of grape that is used.
Yeah, which is used. The Tempranillo is used in most Riojas. I would say. It's the base grape of the Rioja. Sometimes have Tempranillo, sometimes Tempranillo and a Grenache, a blend of those two together. But a lot of times it's just the Tempranillo, but it's made within the Rioja area. So, which we do have. These are from Rioja, aren't these?
They are, yeah.
Yeah, so looking forward to it. Because, I mean, if you've watched the videos before, you will know I'm a massive fan of Rioja. So we've got a fair few to get through today, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, this is so we've just come back to this from a little bit of a vacation. Well, you've had sort of been spent, I don't know how many years in York, the great old city of York.
It was just days. I had a few days, but you've been to America.
I've been to the USA
for weeks.
Oh, just 2 weeks.
Yeah, well, I've been here selling cheese.
Yeah, and wine.
So right, looking forward to getting stuck back in, and this could not be more perfect for me.
Absolutely. So, shall we have a look at the colour?
John, I'm waiting for it.
Okay.
I'm living for this. Okay. Show back here. I don't know if you can quite tell that though. This has got that. There's a vibrant kind of purple there.
There is actually, just especially on the rim.
Yeah. It's very bright, very clear.
Yeah.
I've said this before. But it looks good. It looks like I'm ready to have a go at that on the nose.
And let's have a go on the nose. That smells nice.
It does.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell it's Spanish. I'm saying that because I'm getting that because I love Rioja so much. It's quite a recognisable wine for me. So that for me smells lovely.
Would you say it's American oak or French oak?
I'd probably go American, John. What do you think?
Well, I'd say American because I read the label. So.
I've no idea. I like how you do that. I love how you do the bit of research here before I come here. But to be fair though, it's not too oaky.
No, it's not.
It's not one of it's not your Grand Reserva. It's not your Reserva. You can smell it. It's light. It is light. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. No, absolutely nothing.
It's probably also light. It's probably also worth mentioning. It's £8.
Ah, right.
So so it's a very good deal for sort of Spanish wine from that area, and I think it's been in oak for 9 months. If that's of interest to anyone.
Okay, well, I tend to find Riojas are usually good value for money anyway when it comes to the aging on them, because a lot. I've said it before, but French wines they charge you a lot of money for the aging. Spanish they don't. So
especially for some of them, they're sort of like 5-7 years before they release them, aren't they?
Oh yeah. When you get the Grand Reservas, yeah.
Yeah, and so obviously they've got all that money tied up, which is with inflation at the moment around 9-10% in Europe. That's a lot of money being.
It's actually quite a good price when you think about it like that, isn't it? Mm. Okay, right, John.
You're trying to make me say £8 is a good price, aren't you? I can see you trying to trick me here.
Yeah, £8 is a good price. It is. I think £8.
In these days, up.
A up. Right, come on, A up, let's have a taste.
Okay. That's very pleasant. It's very pleasant. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure the fruit I'm getting. Mm-hmm. I guess it's cherry.
Yep, that's what I'm getting, but the kind of red cherry, not your black cherry. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have to say the length isn't very long.
It's a fairly young wine.
Yeah.
What I'd say. You can tell it's not had that long in oak because there's only a hint there. Oh, for me, there's only a hint. I'm used to like. Perhaps there is enough oak in there. I just like a bigger oak. I like lots of oak in there.
You like lots of wood?
Who doesn't, John? Who doesn't? Back to the wine, John, very quickly. This is how it's going to go on, John. This is the first video.
Just back from holiday, so you're feeling rather frivolous.
I can tell. Well, it's not overly powerful in flavour. Like I say, you're completely correct about there's cherry there, but there's not much more. There's not much complexity. But I didn't expect it. It's the Tempranillo. It's the youngest you can get. It's not spent a lot of time in oak. So for me, that's I could live with that. And at £8, yeah, I'd enjoy that.
Yeah. So this is more the sort of party wine or the casual wine, or maybe eating something with this.
Yeah.
Rather than actually sort of sitting by in front of the fire wine, sitting and sort of dissecting what taste you get out of it.
It's not got that. It doesn't have that type of complexity. I mean, I'm here now and I'm just supping away. Again, nothing wrong with that.
And everything, every wine has its place in terms of the mood you're in.
Of course,
because you don't always feel like actually,
having that big beast. Or you don't want to have to. Sometimes you don't want to have to work at the wine. Sometimes you don't want the wine to come to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it's actually would you say? Now this is a bit strange, but would you say you could actually put a little bit of a chill to this?
No Tempranillo is known to have a chill. Well, it is light enough, yeah.
Yeah?
It is very light, so I don't see why not.
No, I was thinking as a sort of summer drink, it might,
nice and easy.
Not too chill, but maybe sort of 15, 16 degrees.
Hang on. Excuse me.
And
excuse me, my apologies, I don't know where that came from. Sorry, John, sorry.
So I was talking about chills, that's what I did.
Must be. But yeah, that would, yeah, definitely. Ooh.
Okay.
The more as you drink that, the more I'm liking it. I think that can definitely happen, okay, with wine. But no, it's solid.
Partly because the wine conditions your mouth. So when you take another sip of it, the taste is already slightly there, then you're just adding to it, so you don't need so much of a top-up to keep enjoying it.
Yeah.
So very nice. I mean, for eight, well, okay, let's move on to what you would pair with this.
Cheese pairing with that, quite light, quite easy. So I'd want something fairly light and easy. You've got a fair few to choose from. I would look at there's two. I would look at an English brie, a pasteurised English brie, which isn't too over the top, not too kind of, sometimes it can be a bit cabbagey, have a slight ammonia kind of smell about them, but nice and powerful, like you breed them more. And go for an English brie that was just pasteurised, so it's a lot milder and more, as it ripens, it becomes more like double cream, really runs out more so than you breed in more wood. That'd suit that perfectly. Then I'm going to lean you towards a blue with this as well, because I think it would take a Yorkshire blue, which I'm sure I mentioned before, the Mrs. Bell's Yorkshire blue would suit that perfect, because the Mrs. Bell's blue isn't too over the top, not too powerful in flavour, not too salty, not too harsh, and I reckon it would take it. I reckon it would take it well. Okay.
So on the food-wise, what's come to my mind? I'm not quite sure why, but what's come to my mind is lamb. Because I'm getting a little bit of sort of tannin at the end of that, and I think it's sort of, and I think a little bit of lamb with the fat in the lamb, maybe even a lamb confit. Would where it's sort of just been.
I like the fatty bit though. Now you've said that.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Well, I think probably with the fattiness and that would combine very well with this. I mean, it's sort of just give a nice balance to that.
Yeah.
So I'm just going with lamb on this.
I'm with you. I am with you on that one, John. I don't disagree for one moment. That would be beautiful.
So now we come to the issue of price.
Well,
Score. I was thinking price is going to be quite high there in my scoring, which is where I said price.
You just gotta let it go, John. Just gotta let it go. But okay, so as we've said, it's £8. £8. Right, so for scoring.
Yeah.
I've got a number.
Okay, so have I.
Okay, I'm gonna go 74.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay, I was expecting you to go a little bit higher than that. Because I was going to go 75.
Okay.
But I thought because it's your drink and I mean your.
It's my thing, but I do like Riojas, but this is just a bit too young for me.
Yeah, just your personal taste.
Yeah, again.
But again, you know, Riojas do tend to be more expensive than a lot of Spanish wines, and so £8 is a good point, good price point. What we'll do is we'll also do a link to another one of the wines that we've tasted, which is a Crianza. Is that the correct pronunciation? Crianza.
It's close.
Crianza, close. From the same vineyard. So it'd be interesting to compare that, and we'll put a link to that.
Yeah.
Well, that's very good. I'm really been interested. Thank you very much, Ben, for sending that to us.
Thank you, Ben.
Suggestion to us. It's been really interesting. Really enjoyed it. Well worth trying a bottle of this yourselves. And if you do, give us a comment below and let us know what you think of it.
Brilliant.
Excellent. Okay, so until the next time, guys, we'll see you there. Chin chin.
Chin chin.